Hey everyone, it's Matt along with Goose, and today we're going to talk about the upcoming roadmap and the units that we are expecting for September. So stay tuned. Alright, we're going to start a little bit backwards here, and we're going to talk about Halloween. And we're going to talk about the S unit Spooky Valencia, whose event I will cover a little bit more in detail later in the month. But it is an important event where we get some pretty nice equipment that I'll talk about later that would have actually been very useful for a lot of these events that we just had, as it has one piece of equipment that gives a lot of HP. But let's just go over the units real quick for everybody so that we can kind of understand what's going on, and if you want to actually make it to any of the units that are currently out there. So the first unit here, Spooky Valencia, Demon Magic User. Very powerful Zam's Magic User. Her leadership effect is increase her of Zam spells, which include herself, by 20%. Very powerful. Her first skill is actually her non-elemental damage, Witch Prank, spell damage to all enemies within range, occasionally confuses, 29 MP. Not very powerful damage, but the confusion can be beneficial. Confusion at least takes the enemy and does basic attacks, so can be useful there. There are a lot of other bad statuses that would really help, but at this point it's still a nice non-elemental skill there. And we've got Halloween Spark and Zamor, or Zamor. Does her second skill is a very large single target damage spells. For Zam, the other one does Zam spell damage. Sorry, Doma is the Japanese pronunciation, to within range 8 times. So it is a kind of like a Dragon Lord skill where it will randomly go within that spell, but if there's only one unit, it will do 8 damage. It does do the most damage, but if you're looking for that 999 skills, still Zamor is going to be your bigger one. So her awakening skill is increases more Zam power, lower MP. This is, to me, one of those things where she becomes fairly powerful with that. Whoosh resistance second, zap resistance fourth, and her Halloween Spark third and fifth, just like everyone else. The only thing that I am a little bit sad about is Spooky Valencia, and the sprite is very nice done, by the way. But she is a little bit behind now, so I'm much more excited about her event than her, but I would like to get her because for a demon, I know I've been collecting the demon here, and getting her to +1 isn't that bad if I could get one of her. So that's kind of my hope, as she is very powerful for Zam, which is very useful for a lot of events. But once again, I'm really excited about this event, more than I am about Spooky Valencia, but I do hope I can pull one of her, as then I can use the demons to boost her up for that. So let's go with the others. So the summonable one is Shaman. It's basically another Whack-A-Lite. This one is not good at all. It has Whoosh Bang and Burning Storm. The Burning Storm is by far the best skill, which can do paralyze enemies occasionally. But all in all, it is relatively lower usefulness overall from everything. It does have decent agility for 363. Its wisdom's okay, and it has decent HP and defense, so it can be used, but its power's just severely lacking. All in all, though, the A unit's okay, but the unit that I'm really excited for is the Weary Lantern. It was loosely translated as Ghost Elephant if you played Japan. This unit is actually really, really important to focus on. It's not a summon hero. It is a unit that's dropped. And this is the unit that you farm. It is a very, very useful tank. It has the selflessness, takes attacks from all sides. It can attract and can move 2 squares and slight physical damage. Personally, it's been really annoying that we haven't had this until the end of September. This is a unit that I am going to 100% focus on with getting it to 5 hearts. All free-to-play players really needs to do that because this tank is really, really good. It's fast, has good HP, good defense, and even has decent attack. And as I say, it can attract as well, even though, in all honesty, you're just going to be using selflessness during the entire time through it, all the way through. But personally, the reason I'm covering this is Leery Lantern is the unit that I've been waiting for a long time to farm. Alright, and so the last one, which is going to be the one that's coming up with the new story, Part 2 Woodwin, is Goresby-Purrvis. And actually, I was really, really hoping that they were going to go Excali-purr instead, but Goresby-Purrvis was the normal boss that you go. He is a beast attack, increases beast physical power by 20%, which is kind of nice, but in all honesty, there's not a lot of beasts out there that really you're going to want to take advantage of. And even in the future, there's not a lot of beasts. So it's not like, oh, he's really important for the future. He has Zap and non-elemental skills. His first one is Return Sword. His Zap does draws 1 square and occasionally stuns. Second one is Upward Slash, 250% damage to all enemies. This is actually a pretty nice skill on non-elemental. And the Rakiri is 2 hits at 140% zap damage to all enemies, so it's not random. So if those 2 enemies do line up, you will get the total of 280% zap. You will use Upward Slash and Rakiri pretty interchangeably. His skills are great. It's just, as a unit, his damage is okay. We're not going to say he is top-notch. He is not bad. It's just that the units that will be coming, and I will be making a video later this month, probably in the middle of the month, where there's going to be some units that are really designed for PvE and really designed for PvP. This unit's kind of in the middle and doesn't really have a strength either way. So it is both good and bad, but overall he is not as high ranked as a lot of the units that will be coming fairly soon, probably in early October. Just kind of giving some foreshadowing. His awakening skill, his zap power plus 10 and movement plus 1, so he does do pretty good if you do pull 2 of him. Movement of 3 is a big benefit, and he can do some decent zap power damage for Rakiri, but still not the highest. For me, he's not the highest get, and I'm not willing to bet the bank on him. But I would say he would be pretty powerful for the next month or 2. Swoosh resistance 25 for the 2nd, crackle resistance for the 4th, and obviously Rakiri for the 3rd and 5th dupes. The symbol unit is Cherryvale Blossom. This one is an interesting unit. From a damage standpoint, isn't super great, and its agility is pretty low, but it does do some pretty nice confusion and dazzle and or paralyze, and it does decent damage, not super great damage, but it is tanky and bulky. So this is a unit I wouldn't mind having. I'm not going to say, wow, you got to get this unit, but it has its uses for PvE, and if you want to be really annoying with PvP, it can be pretty annoying to fight against. Still, it's not on the super highest part here, but I could definitely see more of its uses because of its ability to tank. It has basically infinite MP at this point at 382 with the skills, and as you level up the skills, they'll even go down a little bit more. So overall, this is something that I might actually invest in if I do get one or two of these, just because I think its abilities and its elemental coverages are useful for certain events. But you do have to level it up and the skills to make it more useful, but it's relatively low on the overall investment scale. And the last one is the Sakura Saber Cub. So we have the Sakura Fubuki. This is the one that you can farm. Has 175% physical damage that can dazzle around it. It's got incredibly high agility, incredibly high movement. Its attack is high, HP and defense are surprisingly good. So, in all honesty, the two events that are coming up, the farmable units are incredibly exciting, especially for free-to-play people, or even for me. They have a lot of uses. A lot of people are going to go look at agility, movement 4 with 426 attack. Its percentages aren't incredibly high, but it can definitely have a lot of uses. And as I say, it might be able to survive an attack or two, especially if you give it the right equipment. Its main issue is that its range is small, but still, this is something that can be put into arena teams as an A unit. This can be PvE. Its wisdom is incredibly poor, but you don't really care. And as I say, as a free-to-play player, you can get this to 5 hearts. So, honestly, to be excited, these are going to be short events. They should only last 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 at the most. And we will be able to get 2 really important units to farm. And I just would like to get people to be excited by this. I am. This is kind of units that I've been waiting for. And as I say, they're easy enough to at least get to 4 hearts, let alone 5 hearts. If you're willing to spend a little bit of gems or some stamina herbs to get there. So I hope you guys enjoy. This is going to be the quick preview for basically the September monsters and early October. And as I say, I will go over each of these events more in detail very, very soon. So please give a like and subscribe. I am trying to get to 500 subscribers by the 15th. I will give a $10 Amazon, Google Play, or iOS card if we reach that. If not, I'll try and do another goal later in the month as well. So please, if you haven't, please subscribe. Thank you very much. I will see you guys probably earlier in the week, next week, and I hope to see you then.